And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of The Experience Hockey Talk, serious hockey talk for serious hockey fans. Hey, Uncle Fran, thanks for watching. I'm paying attention on the phone this time, and I can see who's watching if they're on my friends list. So, hey, Uncle Fran, thanks for watching. So, hockey season is underway, and with that, also, I want to start off by going, we do have our contest for the CSA show where we're giving away a pair or two sets of weekend passes to the CSA shows that's happening this Friday through Sunday in Chantilly, Virginia, which will be featuring now 7 members of the Washington Capitals. Last night, Michael Kempny was added to the list of names of Capitals players who will be signing autographs and taking photos at the CSA shows in Chantilly, which they will be all there on this Friday for that. Please note for everyone who has entered so far, which we've had a good handful, plus those who are planning on who want to enter, please note that that the weekend passes does not guarantee autographs. It does not guarantee photos. Those are all something that is taken care of separately. And Dixon, I know you're watching. Can you do me a favor and throw the link to the article for the contest in both Twitch and Facebook Live for me, good sir? That would be a great help from you, because I see you're watching. So, hey, Dixon! Hey, Dixon! All right. So, with that, go to txhdhockey.com. Dixon will get the details of the contest into the Facebook Live chat and into the Twitch chat room as well, so everyone sees that. And then we'll repost it on our Twitter feed and onto our Facebook. Well, we've been posting it on our Facebook page. We'll have it posted one more time. Please note that the cutoff time to enter will be 7 p.m. tomorrow for entering this contest. So please, if you want to enter, do it now or do it sometime tomorrow morning, afternoon. And as long as it's in before 7 p.m., you will be good to go for the drawing to win a pair of tickets, weekend passes to the CSA show. And also, just to throw this out there, if you also like other sports, there will be athletes there from baseball, basketball, football. Also, 2 actors from the original Mighty Ducks movie will be there. It was actually I don't have it off the top of my head, but it's the brother-sister combination where the actor is actually Danny Tamborelli, who also was in Adventures of Pete and Pete and so many other things from, like our childhood if you're like my age and stuff like that. So that's actually really cool. They're going to be there, I believe, on the Saturday and the Sunday. Or just a Saturday. I gotta double check. They're up on the website, but yeah, they got 2 actors from the Mighty Ducks movies. That's also gonna be there, so there's a little extra thing there for you. Plus, you got a lot of great card sellers. I spend so much money at that show just on hockey cards. It's not even funny. So, thank you, Dixon. I see the thing in our thing. I appreciate it, good sir. And also, this will probably be the last time, maybe the second to last time you see me wearing these glasses, as I'm ordering new ones tomorrow. Hooray. All right. Going into the home opener, you had the Washington Capitals playing host to the Boston Bruins on their banner raising night. Gotta admit, awesome looking banner. I was able to secure one off of eBay. It's a beautiful looking banner. I like this banner. It's a solid banner, and I want 2 more of them. So if anyone can help me get 2 more of those banners, I would be really appreciative, because what I want to do is I want to have one for work, one for here to hang up. As you can tell, I have the 1 banner or pennant there. I got 3 more along the wall over here that you can't see. But to have a championship banner hanging in my room, that'd be really cool. The 3rd one obviously will be put away with a box that I have of just championship gear. Hooray, being a collector. But, so, banner raising night, beautiful looking banner, great ceremony. The awkward high five between Dick Patrick and Ted Leonsis, which made everything awesome. But yeah, so Boston's coming in. Boston, this is a team that is considered a favorite in the Atlantic Division, especially when you look at their lineup. A lot of young kids in there with a lot of good veterans. So going into this game, you would expect it to be a good challenge for the Washington Capitals coming off of a short summer. So, lineup for the Boston Bruins is Brad Marchand with Patrice Bergeron and David Pastrnak, Jake DeBrusk with David Krejci and Danton Heinen, Ryan Donato with Sean Corley and David Backes, Joachim Nordstrom with Noel Akiri and Chris Wagner, and then on D they had Zdeno Chara with Charlie McAvoy, John Moore with Brandon Carlo, Matt Grzelcyk with Kevin Miller, and you had Tuukka Rask between the pipes for the Boston Bruins. For the Capitals, for their opening night lineup, you had Alex Ovechkin with Evgeny Kuznetsov and Brett Connolly, Jacob Vrana with Nicholas Backstrom and TJ Oshie, Andre Burakovsky with Lars Eller and Chandler Stevenson, Nathan Walker with Nick Dowd and Devontae Smith-Pelly. On D, you had Dmitry Orlov with Matt Niskanen, Christian Djoos with John Carlson, Brooks Orpik with Madison Bowey, and Braden Holtby between the pipes. And right off the bat, 24 seconds into the game, TJ Oshie would get his first of the season, assisted by Nicholas Backstrom and Matt Niskanen. Following that, at 1:45, Sean Corley would be called for tripping, which 2 seconds into that power play, Evgeny Kuznetsov would find his way to the net and seek the puck to get it in the net for his first of the season, which would be unassisted. And then at 8:26, Jacob Vrana would get called for slashing. Yeah, at 8:26, Jacob Vrana would be called for slashing, which was a very bad penalty for him to take. At the end of the first, it would be Washington 2, Boston nothing. Shots were 13-9 in favor of the Caps. Faceoffs were 18-4. 18-4 in favor of Boston. We'll touch base on that one in a moment. Hits were 13-7 in favor of Boston. On the power play, Boston was 0-for-1, and the Caps were a perfect 1-for-1. This was a very good first period for the Capitals for the most part. They scored 2 great goals in the first 2 minutes and created some really good scoring chances offensively. However, the Caps were horrendous in the faceoff circle, winning only 4 of 22 faceoffs the entire period. Also, the Capitals' new-look penalty kill was very effective in their lone opportunity. Evgeny Kuznetsov on the PK adds a very serious threat, especially with his speed and his play-making ability. Need to do for the Capitals. The Caps need to do much better job in the face-off circle. Going 4 out of 22 is pathetic, and the Caps have too many talented centers to only win 4 face-offs in an entire period. Other than that, keep the feet moving, draw some penalties, keep generating chances, and it'll work out. So going into the second period at 3:01, Brad Marchand will be called for tripping. On that power play at 4:17, Alex Ovechkin would score his first of the season from Nicholas Backstrom and TJ Oshie. Then at 6:13, on a very good wraparound backhand shot, Nick Dowd would score his first of the season and first as a Washington Capital, assisted by Nathan Walker and Devontae Smith-Pelly. Then at 6:45, Madison Bowey and Sean Corley would both be called for 5 for fighting, but Sean Corley would also get an additional 2-minute minor for holding, which initiated the fight in the first place. On that power play at 7:28, Evgeny Kuznetsov would score his second of the game, assisted by John Carlson and Braden Holtby. And then as a result of that goal, which was a very weak goal led up by Tuukka Rask, the Boston Bruins would pull Tuukka Rask to put in Yaroslav Halak. And then after they did that, at 13:54, Kevin Miller would be called for cross-checking. At 15:27, David Backes would be called for slashing for an abbreviated 5-on-3 opportunity for the Washington Capitals, which on that power play before the first penalty expired at 15:45, John Carlson would score his first of the season, assisted by Alex Ovechkin and Nicholas Backstrom, which that is now the third assist for Nick Backstrom in that game. At the end of the second period, the Caps would be up 6-0 over Boston. Shots were 25-15 in favor of the Capitals. Faceoffs were 32-13 in favor of Boston. Slightly better, but not good enough. Hits were 25-12 in favor of Boston, and on the power play, the Caps were 4 for 5, and Boston was still 0 for 1. This was another very strong period for the Capitals. They are keeping their feet moving, generating scoring chances, and drawing penalties. Definite need to do. The Caps need to keep on pushing. Also, they still need to do much better in the faceoff circle, but overall, they just need to keep playing their game and keep their feet moving. Then, going into the third period, Madison Bowey would be called for cross-checking at 8:25. Then at 10:52, Lars Eller would score his first of the season from Chandler Stevenson and Brooks Orpik. Then at 13:54, Lars Eller and Brad Marchand would both get 5 for fighting, but Brad Marchand would also get a 2-minute for instigating and a game misconduct as well. Let's be brutally honest. When Eller scored the goal and you're up 7-0, you really don't need to celebrate that goal. I get it. It's opening night. You just put up the Stanley Cup banner. You didn't really need to do the celebration. Now, the celebration, what he did right when he scored, that was fine. But then when he repeated it, when he went past the Bruins bench, that was unnecessary. I see why Boston took offense to what he did. I understand it as a hockey player myself because I've been on the receiving end of those before, and it's not fun. It's not cool. So Brad Marchand obviously jumped Eller, and yes, he did jump Eller to get the fight because Marchand got in a few good whacks, few good punches in on Lars Eller before Eller even dropped his stick and dropped his gloves. So in that regards, Marchand probably should have gotten something from the league, but at the same time, he knew it wasn't going to happen. And yes, of course, Don Cherry is, supporting Brad Marchand and jumping Lars Eller, but at the same time, the one thing I do agree in argument is the fact that Eller shouldn't have done the celebration by the Bruins bench after he scored the 7th goal of the game. He shouldn't have chirped the bench after he scored the 7th goal of the game. If he didn't do that, he probably wouldn't have had the fight. I'm just saying that as a player. You do that to me or my team, and then you chirp it at us, while you're running up the score against us, you're going to expect somebody to take a run at you. It's just how hockey is. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Anyways, the Caps went on to win the game 7-0. Shots were 37-25 in favor of the Caps. Faceoffs were 41-19 in favor of Boston. Hits were 28-16 in favor of Boston, and the Capitals were 4 for 6, and Boston was 0 for 2 on the power play. Dominant game for the Washington Capitals, a perfect 60-minute game for the team. All the shots that Braden Holtby faced, they're all to the outside. He maybe had 2 to 3 real testers that made him really have to work. But overall, it was a good overall game by the team. They played hard. They scored goals. They created really great chances. And not only that, but one of the best things about it was that they had 6 power plays. The reason they had 6 power plays, they kept their feet moving, and they drew them. You keep your feet moving, you're going to draw penalties all the time. And that's what they did. Definitely good job by the Washington Capitals in this game. Then, moving to the next night. Now, just for the record, all these notes that I'm reading, you can read on txhthockey.com. You can go to our game recap articles where we have all the recaps of all the Caps games. And actually, you know what? Dixon, write this down. Remind me about this. Remind me after we get off the air, besides the fact of all the post-production work for the show, that A, I make sure the archive is up to date for this show. But number 2, I create a Washington Capitals recap page where we post all the recaps of every game from this season. So write that down. Remind me as soon as I get off the air. Knowing you'll remind me in the comments on Facebook just to be a punk, but that's okay. But yeah, all of these notes that I'm reading off of the game are all up on our Facebook page. And one of the, or not our Facebook page, our website, txhthockey.com. And one of the great things is this. We wanted to do something different with how we did these recaps. So as you can tell, I'm reading through how our recaps are on the website. One of the great things is that if you see it where it says like Pittsburgh goal, like right here, it says Pitt goal, we're going to hyperlink it so that way you can actually watch how the goal was scored. We're not going to try to just explain it to you or anything like that. We're just going to go, hey, watch the video. Here's how the goal was scored. And then we'll do something special for the player who scores, because we all know on Twitter all the teams do this thing where when a player scores, they put up like a graphic for that player or a GIF or whatever. We want to have that on there so you can click on the player and check out what the team posted about that player when they scored that goal at that time. I think it's a neat little feature. We leave the analysis and need to do's as they are. Just have them after the periods, after all the game, like the little box scores. I think it's a different perspective on it, and not only that, but a lot of people just don't want to read through all these massive articles. So, just to go through our thing and go, okay, that's what happened in the period. Oh, wow, okay, there's the video. Boom, go to that. Keep on scrolling. All right, that's the analysis of the period. That's the need to do for what the Caps need to do. Keep on scrolling. All right, that's the second period. Boom, that's the third period. All right, that's the final analysis after the game's over. And it makes it easier on you guys. You can get through it a little bit faster and have a little bit more. Tonight, the Toronto Maple Leafs are obviously playing. They start up in 15 minutes as they take on Dallas. Our Toronto Maple Leafs writer is, I believe, going to be using that format that I explained just now to everybody as a way of saying, this will probably be the TXHT way, and it's a cool way. So, as I digress, back to the topic, the next night, October 4th, Washington Capitals in Pittsburgh for Pittsburgh Penguins home opener and season opener. The Washington Capitals had no change to their lineup, and the Pittsburgh Penguins lineup was Jake Guentzel with Sidney Crosby and Patrick Hornqvist, Carl Hagelin with Evgeny Malkin and Phil Kessel, Dominic Simone with Derek Brassard and Brian Rust, Matt Cullen with Riley Sheehan and Daniel Sprong. On defense, they had Brian Dumoulin with Chris Letang, Oli Mata with Jack Johnson, Jamie Alexiak with Justin Schultz, and Matt Murray in the net. Going into the first period at 1:49, the Penguins would get on the board first with a goal from Jamie Alexiak, assisted by Evgeny Malkin and Phil Kessel. But the Caps would respond right away at 3:30 when Jacob Vrana would score his first of the season, assisted by Nicholas Backstrom and TJ Oshie. Then at 4:19, Brooks Orpik would score his first of the season, which would be unassisted. Then at 5:47, Matt Niskanen would be called for interference, which on that power play at 7:27, Jake Guentzel would score his first of the season, assisted by Daniel Sprong and Justin Schultz. Then at the 8-minute mark even, Alex Ovechkin would score his second of the season from Christian Djoos and Evgeny Kuznetsov on a very nice tip play. And then at 18:11, Carl Hagelin would be called for interference. At the end of the period, the Capitals would be up 3-2. Shots were 9-5 in favor of the Caps. Faceoffs were tied at 13 apiece. Hits were 10-5 in favor of the Caps. The Caps would be 0-for-1 on their power play, and Pittsburgh would be a perfect 1-for-1. Analysis of this first period. This was an okay period for the Caps. Pittsburgh scored early, but the Caps' response was great by getting 2 goals by Jacob Vrana and Brooks Orpik very quickly. Then a really bad penalty by Niskanen allowed the Penguins to take advantage and tie the game at 2 apiece. But the captain doing captain things, Alex Ovechkin would score to give the Caps a 3-2 lead into the intermission. The Caps need to do a much better job in their own zone. As there were too many too close for comfort moments where they coughed up the puck too many times to the Penguins. So obviously they need to clean up the play in their own zone. Then going into the second period, 30 seconds into the period, Chris Letang would tie the game at 3 apiece with his first of the season from Sidney Crosby and Brian Dumoulin. Then at 3:54, John Carlson would score his second of the season, assisted by Brett Connolly. And then at 4:13, Phil Kessel would be called for slashing. And then at 7:24, Lars Eller would be called for hooking. And then at 15:09, Jake Guentzel would score his second of the game, assisted by Justin Schultz and Patrick Hornqvist. And then at 16:58, Derek Brassard would score his first of the season, assisted by Dominic Simone and Brian Dumoulin. Pittsburgh would go into the second intermission up 5-4. Shots were 27-26 in favor of Pittsburgh. Faceoffs were 27-22 in favor of Pittsburgh. Sorry, I'm trying to hold a sneeze. Hits were 21-14 in favor of the Caps, and on the power play, the Caps were 0-for-2, and Pittsburgh was 1-for-2. Stop trying to sneeze. So analysis. This was another okay period for the Caps. They gave up a goal 30 seconds in the period, but they responded very well by retaking the lead. But after that, it felt like the Penguins control the flow of the game. Also, poor play in their own zone costed the Caps the lead, which is why the Penguins were able to get 2 more goals at the end of the period, which is always a killer when you look at that. Obviously, need to do, like I said, for the first period, they need to do better breakout passes, and they need to play smarter in their own zone. And it's why they're down 5-4 going into the third period. They just were not playing smart in their own zone. And then going into the third period, at 39 seconds in, Brett Conley would be called for tripping. And then at 2:45, Evgeny Malkin would score his first of the season, assisted by Chris Letang and Sidney Crosby. And then Madison Bowey would be called for hooking at 3:53. And then Jacob Vrana would be called for slashing at 8:40. However, the Caps would endure. And at 13:01, TJ Oshie would get his second of the season unassisted. And then at 13:22, 21 seconds later, he would get his second of the game, assisted by John Carlson. At the end of the third period, it'd be tied 6-6. Shots at 39-35 in favor of Pittsburgh. Faceoffs were 36-32 in favor of Pittsburgh. Hits were 32-21 in favor of the Caps. Power play was 0 for 2 for the Caps and 1 for 5 for Pittsburgh. Going into overtime, you had Evgeny Kuznetsov get called for hooking 19 seconds in, and then a minute 1 second later on the power play, Chris Letang would score his second of the game, assisted by Evgeny Malkin and Phil Kessel for Pittsburgh to win the game 7-6. Definitely have to say that this was not the ideal second game that you would like to have. You go off of a 7-0 shutout to a 7-6 loss in overtime. Yes, granted, the Caps got the point, so they got 3 points out of a possible 4 to start the season, which is good standings-wise. But that game could have been so much better if they played better defense. But at the same time, Pittsburgh was not playing good defense as well. So obviously, the next time those two teams face off, things will be different that time around. All right, and then leading up, what time is it? It's 8:21. All right. All right. So I'm actually going to take a quick break. So give me a second. I need a quick break real fast. So one moment, and I'll be right back. Thanks, Dixon, for telling me that the audio is out. I forgot to hit the button to turn the microphone back on. Oops. Yeah. Okay, so, like I was saying, before we realized that the microphone was off, thanks for giving me the brief break so I can take some water and blow my nose and get whatever was messing me up. And this is now the NWHL News and Notes, which will be now my second time reading it through, but this time you'll actually be able to hear me say it. Alright, on Saturday, October 6th, the Metropolitan Riveters took on the Minnesota Whitecaps in what was their NWHL debut. The Minnesota Whitecaps hosted the defending Isabel Cup champion Metropolitan Riveters. The Whitecaps would produce their first ever NWHL win in shutout. Amanda Levalle would stop all 19 shots she faced to hand the Riveters their first ever regular season shutout loss. And the Whitecaps would get goals from Katie McGovern, Hannah Brandt, Kate Schipper, and Kendall Cone Schofield to give the Whitecaps a 4-0 victory. And then on October 7th, Sunday, the Buffalo Beauts would take on the Connecticut Whale in a game that featured the NWHL debuts of two Olympian goaltenders. It would be the host Connecticut Whale falling to the Buffalo Beauts 4-0 in a battle that saw Nicole Hensley of the Beauts take on Miri Rassinen of the Whale. Buffalo would get a pair of goals from both Maddie Elia and Haley Scamora to give the Beauts the victory. And then in the last game of the week, on October 7th as well, the Metropolitan Riveters took on the Minnesota Whitecaps again. In the second meeting of their back-to-back against each other, the Whitecaps would prevail once again, this time 3-1. Amanda Levalle would stop 21 of 22 shots faced, and the Whitecaps would get goals from Amanda Boulier, Jonna Curtis, and Hannah Brandt, while the Riveters would get their lone goal from Jenny Ryan. Now to do this part again as well. The next time you'll be seeing the Minnesota Whitecaps play in the NWHL will be on Saturday, October 20th at the Prudential Center, as the Metropolitan Riveters will be having their home opener there. And myself and Shaggy will be at the game. We will be doing full-blown coverage like we would a Capitals game or a Maple Leafs game or a Canadiens game or eventually soon a St. Louis Blues game once Arian is able to dedicate more time to writing the Blues stuff. So we will be there. We will be doing a game preview. We will be doing the game recap like the way we do Washington Capitals and the Maple Leafs and the Canadiens and stuff like that. So that way we give you full-blown coverage of that game. And we're going to give it the same respect that we give it to like the NHL games. And then next up, you have the NWHL Player of the Week, which was announced today. This week, Minnesota Whitecaps yesterday. This week, Minnesota Whitecaps forward Hannah Brandt has been named the first Vita NWHL Player of the Week for 2018-19 season. In 2 games played this past weekend, both against the Riveters, Brandt had 2 goals to help lead the Whitecaps to a 2-0 record to start this season. And upcoming games for the NWHL, both of them will be this Saturday, October 13th. Connecticut Whale will take on the Buffalo Beauts in their home opener at 1:30 p.m. And later that day at 7:30 p.m., you'll have the Metropolitan Riveters at the Boston Pride for their season and home opener as well. Both games will be streamed live on Twitter, and you can go to @NWHL to get more information on how you can watch the game live on there. And then also, you can go to nwhl.zone for more information on the NWHL. All right, did you hear all that this time, Dixon? I'm going to take that as a yes. Alrighty, and now we're going to do No's and Notes. We're going to do it all based off of the tablet this time, not off of, well, I do have some notes on paper, but it's like more minor notes. Everything else is going to come off the tablet. Alrighty. Good, I'm glad you can hear me this time, Dixon. Good catch, by the way. Thanks for telling me after the fact. Alrighty. So obviously, Caps strike early and often on banner raising night. Beautiful banner raising ceremony. It's awesome. Also, a very interesting thing, the Capitals set an NHL record for the largest shutout victory by a defending Stanley Cup champion in its season opening contest. In fact, only 2 other teams in NHL history, regardless of stature, have won by at least 7 goals in the season opening shutout, which was Montreal on October 8th, 1975 against Los Angeles, which was a 9-0 win, and Detroit on October 28, 1945 against Boston, which was also a 7-0 win. The 7-goal outing also placed Washington and Select Company among other defending champions. Let's see here. Austin Matthews scored 1:01 into overtime, and John Tavares, who signed as a free agent with the club on July 1, tallied in his Maple Leafs debut to lift Toronto to victory. And then after 22 teenagers made season-opening rosters across the NHL, a pair of 19-year-old rookies scored in their NHL debut to lead their respective team to victory. In Vancouver, Elias Pettersson, who enters the NHL after an MVP season in the Swedish Hockey League, recorded a goal and assist for 2 points to help the Canucks extend the league's long active win streak in season openers with 5 contests since 2014-15. Tampa Bay has the opportunity to match the streak with a win on Saturday. Pettersson is the 4th player in Canucks history to collect multiple points in his NHL debut and second Vancouver skater in 3 seasons to score in his first career NHL game. Also Brock Besser on March 25th, 2017. And then Ducks forward Max Comtois, I think that's how they say it, who was selected in the second round 50th overall of the 2017 NHL draft, scored 49 seconds into the first period, marking the 6th fastest goal in NHL history by a player making his league debut. Did it give us other scores? Yeah. And in other scores, you had Vancouver winning 5-2, Anaheim winning 5-2 over Calgary and San Jose respectively. Toronto beat Montreal 3-2 in overtime that day. Anything else? Nope, nothing on that one. We move on to the next one, October 5th. I like these. Cam Atkinson scored in the opened the scoring for the Blue Jackets at 5 total of the first period and has now scored in 5 straight season opening games dating to 2014-15, the longest active run in the NHL. Only 2 players in history have scored in more consecutive season openers. Let's see here. Bruins forward Brad Marchand posted his second career 4-assist game, a feat he first accomplished last season on January 6, 2018 versus Carolina. The 2017-18 season witnessed Marchand record his second straight campaign with at least 80 points, becoming the first Bruins player to do so since Hall of Fame members Ray Bourque and Adam Oates accomplished the feat in 1992 and 92, 93, and 93, 94. After totaling a combined 80 goals in his first 2 NHL seasons, Patrik Laine opened the 2018-19 campaign with a multi-point effort, 1 goal, 1 assist. Laine is within reach of hitting 100 goals before his 200th NHL game. Only 2 active players have done so, Alex Ovechkin and Steven Stamkos. Blue Jackets forward Artemi Panarin, who scored a goal and assist, opened the 2018-19 with a multi-point outing, including his 4th career overtime winner. And then the Stars scored 3 times in a span of 1 minute 36 seconds, and Ben Bishop made 30 saves to become the 3rd goaltender in franchise history to post a shutout in a season opener. The others, Cesar Managio, 21 saves on October 11, 1969, when it was still the Minnesota North Stars versus Philadelphia, and Antti Niemi, 37 saves on October 8, 2015 versus Pittsburgh. Jim Montgomery became the 6th head coach in North Stars history to win his NHL head coaching debut. The others, Lou Nanne, Glenn Sonmore, Murray Oliver, Pierre Page, and Glenn Gulutzan. A pair of 20-year-old defensemen, Maxime Lejeune of the Senators and Dennis Cholowski of the Red Wings, scored in their NHL debut. The last 10 years have seen 18 different blue liners score in their NHL debut, including Sami Nico, Justin Hall, Christian Hughes, and Charlie McAvoy all last season. And Other scores from that day: Boston won 4-0. Pittsburgh obviously won in overtime 7-6. The Islanders beat Carolina 2-1 in overtime. Nashville beat the Rangers 3-2. Chicago beat Ottawa 4-3 in overtime. Columbus beat Detroit 3-2 in overtime. Winnipeg won 5-1. Dallas won 3-0. Colorado won 4-1. And Philadelphia beat Vegas 5-2. And then on October 6th in the morning skate, there were only 2 games that took place. You had the Carolina Hurricanes defeat the Columbus Blue Jackets 3-1. And then you had the San Jose Sharks defeat the Los Angeles Kings 3-2 in overtime. Led by 21-year-old Sebastian Aho and the first NHL point by 18-year-old rookie Andrei Svechnikov. The Hurricanes scored once in each period en route to their first victory of the 2018-19 season, the first NHL win for head coach Rod Brind'Amour. And then after surrendering a 2-goal lead, the Sharks benefited from Erik Karlsson's first point with the club and assist on Kevin LeBlanc's overtime goal to post its 4th consecutive regular season win against the Kings. Karlsson played nearly half the game, pacing all skaters with 29 minutes and 27 seconds. All right, moving on. And then in Saturday's games, you had a lot of games. You had New Jersey beat Edmonton 5-2, Dallas beat Winnipeg 5-1, Buffalo beat the Rangers 3-1, Ottawa beat Toronto 5-3, Tampa Bay defeat Florida 2-1 in the shootout. Nashville defeat the Islanders 4-3. Montreal defeat Pittsburgh 5-1. Chicago beat St. Louis 5-4 in overtime. Vegas beat Minnesota 2-1 in a shootout. Anaheim defeated Arizona 1-0. Colorado defeated Philadelphia 5-2, and Calgary defeating Vancouver 7-4. Jonathan Toews completed the first hat-trick by any player this season and the 5th of his career with an overtime winner to help the Blackhawks improve to 2-0 this season. With both victories coming in overtime, this marks just the 3rd time in NHL history that his team has opened a season with back-to-back overtime wins. Toews, the franchise leader in regular season overtime goals, became the 5th Blackhawks player to complete a hat-trick with an overtime winner, joining Jeff Hamilton, Tyler Arnason, Eric Daze, and Kurt Frazier. Last season, 4 players across the NHL capped a hat-trick with an overtime tally. Kyle Palmieri and Travis Zajac each scored twice to lead the Devils to a victory over the Oilers at the 2018 NHL Global Series at Scandinavium and Gothenburg, Sweden. The contest marked New Jersey's first win at a regular season neutral site game since March 27, 1994, when they defeated Quebec 5-2 at Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The Devils improved to 3-3-1 all-time in regular season games played at neutral sites, while the Oilers fell to 1-5-1 in those contests. Palmieri and Zajac became the first set of teammates to each score multiple goals in the same regular season contest played outside of North America. Only one player in NHL history has recorded a hat-trick in such contests, which was Flames forward Theo Fleury, registered 3 goals, 2 assists for 5 points on October 10, 1998 versus San Jose at Yogi Arena in Tokyo, Japan. And then also Palmieri's opening tally just 58 seconds into the contest. Only 3 of the 29 regular season games played outside North America have seen a goal in opening minute of regulation. Fastest one being by Thomas Holmstrom, 31 seconds in, versus St. Louis back in Stockholm, Sweden in 2009. All right. JT Miller and Nikita Kucherov scored in a shootout to lift the Lightning. Lift the Lightning to their 5th consecutive win in the season opening game, matching the Canucks, who extended their win streak in season openers to 5 games on Wednesday for the league's longest active streak in such contests. By earning 2 points Saturday, the Lightning continued to build on the NHL's all-time best points percentage in season opening contests with 26-17-9 for a .692 winning percentage. After scoring an impressive goal in his NHL debut Wednesday, Canucks rookie Elias Peterson found the back of the net twice Saturday, became the 6th player in franchise history to score at least 1 goal in each of his first 2 career NHL games, and first since Rick Lands in 1980. And then Let's see here. And that's nothing. Then for Sunday, you had 3 games. You had the Carolina Hurricanes beat the Rangers 8-5. Toronto beat Chicago 7-6 in overtime, and Los Angeles defeat Detroit 4-2. The 6 teams in action on Sunday combined for 32 goals across 3 games. The total was 7 shy of the NHL record for most goals on a 3-game day, a mark set back on March 17, 1946. Carolina overcame deficits of 2-0, 3-2, 4-3, and 5-4 before Andrei Shvetnikov scored the game-winning goal of 9:16 remaining in regulation en route to an 8-5 win. Carolina would scored 8 goals in the game for the first time since March 13, 2017, which was an 8-4 win over the Islanders, extended the season-opening point streak to 3 contests. Svechnikov, born on March 26, 2000, became the first player born in the 2000s to score an NHL goal. Only 2 players in Hurricanes Whalers history scored their first career goal at a younger age, which was Jeff Skinner and Paul Lawless. All right, and then in another back-and-forth high-scoring game, the Maple Leafs and Blackhawks combined for 12 goals in regulation, including 3 in the final 2 minutes, before Morgan Rielly netted the winner 19 seconds into overtime. In his 3rd game since making his Maple Leafs debut on Wednesday, John Tavares scored the ninth hat trick of his NHL career. He became the 4th Maple Leafs player in the NHL's modern era since 1943-44 to score a hat trick within his first 3 games, with the franchise joining Miroslav Freiser, Jeff O'Neill, and Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews matched a career high with 4 points, a mark he set in his historic 4-goal NHL debut on October 12, 2016 at Ottawa. He has collected at least 2 points in each of the Maple Leafs' first 3 games, becoming the 7th player in franchise history to record multiple points in each of the club's opening 3 contests. And Ilya Kovalchuk collected 2 helpers, including 1 on the game-winning goal to eclipse the 400-assist milestone and help the Kings pick up their first win of the season. The assists were his first NHL points since April 25th, 2013. All right, Jake, I see that you messaged me. I'll respond to you in a moment about pickup hockey on Saturday. And then, man, we got some more hat tricks talking about here. On Monday's results, you had Boston beat Ottawa 6-3. The Islanders beat the Sharks 4-0. Buffalo beat Vegas 4-2. And Anaheim beat Detroit 3-2 in the shootout. Patrice Bergeron netted his 4th career hat trick, and David Pastrnak also collected 4 points to power the Bruins to victory in their home opener. Monday marked the first time in the Bruins' 94 season history that 2 players recorded 4 or more points apiece in the club's home opener. Bergeron became the 5th player in franchise history to record a hat trick in the team's home opener, and the first since Cam Neely did so in consecutive games 1994-95 and 95-96. A veteran of 966 regular season games, all with the Bruins, Bergeron now sits 7 goals shy of becoming the 6th player in franchise history to score 300 career goals. Robin Lehner returned to side all 35 shots he faced to backstop the Islanders to their first home win of the 2018-19 season, and become the first goaltender in franchise history to post a shutout in his team debut. And then, exactly 25 years after facing the Detroit Red Wings in their first ever regular season game, the Ducks defeated the club in a shootout to improve the 3-0 in 2018-19 and match their best 3-game start in franchise history. The club also started with 3 straight wins in 2006-07, ending the season with their first Stanley Cup. 2 Ducks who featured prominently in the win weren't even born when the franchise entered the NHL in 1993-94, 21-year-old Troy Terry and 19-year-old Max Comtus. Sporting the throwback Mighty Ducks jersey, Terry scored the only goal in the shootout, a familiar theme in his career at the 2017 World Junior Championships. Terry scored 3 times in the shootout during the semifinals against Russia and later scored the decisive shootout marker in the final against Canada, lifting the United States to a gold medal. Right. And then also yesterday, the 3 stars were announced, starting off with the 3rd star, Ben Bishop, goalie of the Dallas Stars. Bishop stopped 62 of 63 shots against, compiling a 2-0-0 record with a .5 goals against average and a .984 save percentage and 1 shutout to help the Stars begin the campaign with a pair of wins. 2nd star was center Jonathan Toews of the Chicago Blackhawks. Toews shared the league lead with 5 goals and ranked 2nd overall and with 6 points. As the Blackhawks earned 5 out of a possible 6 standing points to open the season, he began the campaign with a goal and assist, including the lone assist on Patrick Kane's overtime goal in a 4-3 victory over the Ottawa Senators on October 4th. And your 1st star is center Austin Matthews of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Matthews registered 5 goals, 3 assists, and 8 points in 3 games, leading the NHL in both goals and points to power the Maple Leafs to a pair of victories. He scored twice, including his 4th career overtime goal, and a 3-2 season opening win against the Montreal Canadiens on October 3rd. Matthews then collected a goal and assist in a 5-3 loss to the Ottawa Senators on October 6th, and he capped the week with a 2-goal, 2-assist, 4-point game, his 2nd career 4-point game, the first since his NHL debut back in 2016, in a 7-6 overtime triumph against the Blackhawks. And looking at tonight's games that's happening right now. Right now, you got the San Jose Sharks taking on the Philadelphia Flyers, the Vancouver Canucks taking on the Hurricanes, the Avalanche taking on the Blue Jackets, and then the Calgary Flames taking on the Predators, the LA Kings taking on the Jets, and in progress now also the last game of the day, the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Dallas Stars. Obviously, stay tuned to txhthockey.com for that one, as our guy Steve Gardner is covering that game for us for txhthockey.com. And then coming up, actually no, first off we'll do some injury report. We got some injury roundup. First off, the Philadelphia Flyers are going to be without James Van Riemsdyk for 5 to 6 weeks due to a lower body injury. Columbus will be without Brandon Dubinsky for 4 to 6 weeks due to an oblique injury. Joe Thornton is listed as day-to-day due to his knee for the San Jose Sharks. Calgary has Travis Hamonic listed as week-to-week due to a facial fracture. Roberto Luongo has a grade 1 MCL injury and will be out 2 to 4 weeks. I was actually watching that, and he got pretty beat up in that game against Tampa Bay. First, he takes a really hard slap shot to the melon, and then he gets landed on, which caused the lower body injury. Jonathan Quick of the LA Kings has a lower body injury and is listed as day-to-day. It should be noted, a couple seasons ago, Jonathan Quick did miss the entirety of a season due to a groin injury. And then Scott Darling has a lower body injury and is listed as week-to-week for the Carolina Hurricanes. And also Corey Crawford currently is listed as, I believe, day-to-day or week-to-week due to his concussion issues, but that was going into the season, knowing that already. So coming up next for the Washington Capitals, tomorrow we have the Vegas Golden Knights, and then Thursday we have the New Jersey Devils. Thursday we're going to have a full stack as Washington, Montreal, Toronto, and St. Louis are all playing games. We're going to do something a little different when we do that, when we post them. Obviously they're each going to have their own individual article, but then we're going to do a secondary article which will have all of them posted in there so we can share it out to everybody. So you can go, well, I care about the Toronto game. Click on the Toronto game. Oh, I care about the Caps game. You can click on the Caps game. It'll be right there in that one article, so it will just send you to that article that you want to read about, like which game you want to preview on and which game you want to recap from. On Friday, there's no NHL games. Like, I'm serious. There's no NHL games on Friday. I'm like flabbergasted. And then on Saturday, you have the Capitals versus Toronto. Steve and I, we're going to do kind of a dueling thing. It's going to be kind of cool, so stay tuned for that. We're actually working it all out. Montreal and St. Louis also have games that day as well. And then on October 14th, St. Louis is playing on Sunday. I only have it up to there because that's how I have it written out for my writing team, so when we do our weekly thing, we can work on that together. So, with all that said, that's what's coming up. We got the game against Vegas tomorrow. We got the New Jersey Devils the day after, and then we got Toronto on Saturday for Hockey Night in Canada, which is always awesome because Hockey Night in Canada is great. We may not agree with what Don Cherry says, but it's still entertaining. You do get some good tidbits here or there, and then of course Saturday headlines is always a great thing to watch too. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been the Experience Hockey Talk. You have till 7 p.m. tomorrow to enter to be able to win a pair of weekend passes to the CSA shows. So tomorrow at 7 p.m. to do that, enter. Dixon put the link in the chat room so you can see them. Also, go to txhthockey.com, read our articles, look at our previews, look at our recaps, look at some of our other articles. Steve actually did a really good article yesterday about William Nylander and the situation going on in Toronto with him as he is still holding out. And then actually we're going to figure out what we're doing Friday. Dixon, he did not tell me if he did the daily yet. If he hasn't, we need to get that daily done, Dixon, so we can get that up. The daily we put out every day. It has NHL and NWHL news and notes for what's going on, injuries, signings, contract, jersey unveilings, all that cool stuff. And then, of course, so yeah, definitely go to txhthockey.com, facebook.com/txhthockey, or if you're watching right now on Facebook, hit that like button. And then, of course, on Twitter go to at TXHT_hockey. Go to our Patreon page, patreon.com/TXHT_hockey, and go to our Twitch channel, which if you're watching on Twitch, at twitch.tv/TXHT_hockey. Hit that follow button to let you know every time we go live. Next week, we'll be going live Tuesday at 8 p.m. because the Capitals are playing at 8 p.m. Or no, the next night on against the Rangers. So it's kind of one of those things where we're probably going to hop back and forth depending on when the Caps play. There's going to be times we got to bite the bullet and we just got to do the show during the Caps game. It's just how it is. But next Tuesday we will be live for more serious hockey talk for serious hockey fans. And ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm going to keep saying it over and over again, txhthockey.com. Thanks for the birthday present last week where we had 431 views on the page on the day of my birthday. That's a good birthday present, and I thank you for that. So, with that said, txhthockey.com. We'll be back next Tuesday at 8 p.m. live on Facebook Live and on Twitch. And until next time, we will see you on the flip side.